Hello, hello. Welcome to the final Get At Gaming Plus podcast for the holidays of 2024. I am Alex,
I'm Ben.
and I didn't know how it's going with that because like, oh, it's the final podcast. Oh, geez, we're quitting. We're not quitting, not yet. Maybe someday. You know, who knows? Who knows what happens? This is a horrible way to start this podcast, but we're gonna keep on going. Yeah, we've been hopefully you've been enjoying the episodes that have been coming out here. They've been coming out for the past couple months. So
Yeah.
we pre-recorded all of those, and they were fun to do. Um, and so yeah, two of them actually have been long in the making. One of them obviously is the game show, which I hope you enjoyed. I'm curious how people actually enjoy that. It's very it's very scuff, but we were just learning, and that's why we
Yeah.
had Zach and Alex there, just because they won't judge us too hard compared to other people. So that's what they were there. Another one that I've been waiting on for a long time was Persona 4 Golden spoiler cast. But we finally got there, and
We did.
Ben beat the game.
I did.
Yeah, I'm surprised a little bit.
I'm more surprised than you are that I got it done. But I will say I think it's a great in depth of that. And I'm glad we scheduled this because I really don't think that I would have gone back and played that game unless you were like, look, I'm putting this on the schedule, get it done. And I'm glad you did. I think sometimes I think, as friends and everything, it's difficult because people are like, man, you gotta play this game, you gotta play this game. And then you're like, nah, it's not really my thing. Or always give that person the opportunity because I would not have gone back and finished this. But when I did finish it, I was like, man, this was really fun. This was not, I really liked the story and how it all panned out. So
Yeah, definitely. We'll probably do this again at some point, but next year I'm hoping to do, maybe we could do some book club type stuff where it's like, oh, we can play smaller titles and try to just both play them and maybe play them and talk about them with audiences or with our audience or just people, and we can all kind of just play the same game in like a deadline. I would say I would probably give us like 2 months per game depending on what it is.
yeah.
Like for example, I was playing a little bit of it, um, but Alan Wake, like the remastered, um, I don't think that's that long of a game. Like that could be an interesting one because I want to play Alan Wake too. I know it's too spoopy for me, but like it just really interests me like a lot.
Yeah.
And that's one of the games where I'm like, it's horror, but I think I'm willing to go for it. Um, so yeah, we'll definitely do those at some point. When you're listening to this, I don't remember what the date is, but it's probably the new year. I think it is the new year technically. So happy new year. Um, and Yeah, so what we thought that we would talk about here today. Again, we're kind of dating ourselves to a degree, but this is our last podcast that we are recording preemptively for the holidays. And so with that, we have plans for ourselves. We have holiday plans. We have backlogs to get through. We have shows to watch. We have just a bunch of different things that we want to do to, I don't know, just relax, you know?
Mhm.
And so we thought that we would talk about some of those things. So we'll probably divide it into a few different sections here. We'll divide it into like what we're gonna watch, what we plan on like playing, and then maybe other generic thing, not generic per se, but like more like family things, you know. So I don't know. Do you want to go first? Do you want to talk about like, do you have any games that are on your radar that you want to pick up around the holidays, or honestly, right after we're done, stamping this clean, putting it out in the mail, and we're done with the podcast for 2 months. Like, is there anything
Yeah.
on the horizon, like next week? Is there any like big game that you're wanting to like play?
So, yeah, I feel like there's a couple games that I really want to go back to that I've never finished. And I know I said this before in the podcast. I have kids, so it's difficult during most of the regular year to find time to play these. Um, but so I'll give you an example. There's two games that I really want to finish, which is Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I want to finish Crisis Core. I'm about 60% done of Crisis Core. But I want to finish that as well. But there's a couple. I'm trying to think of some new ones that are coming out that I have to play. Um, I really don't. I want to. I really do want to play back Black Myth. Um,
Yeah.
that's one that I've really anticipated. I debated between my PC or PS5, and I've decided that PS5 is gonna be the way I would go.
Yeah.
Just because I have a great PC that's able to handle stuff. I don't know if it's going to be able to handle that at full potential. Um, and also after watching you play Final Fantasy 16, which I own and I've never put in the system yet, you
Mhm.
know, I just really want to spend more time on getting some of these ones that I've either started or not, really kind of go through and finish some of these ones. Um, I mean,
Now,
how about you? Go
w-
ahead.
I want to warn you, because I think I did last time. 16 can get a little raunchy, a little risque. Like, there is nudity, there is sex, implied sex. It's Game of Thrones but Final Fantasy. There's
Yeah,
also a lot of heavy language. So like, just kind of an FYI, if you are wanting to play that, it's a great game to play, but it is one of those things that you may want to play at times when there are not children around.
yeah. So I've got some time coming up. I have time during the week of Thanksgiving and then like almost 2 weeks end of December. And my plan is when the kids go to sleep, boot that up. Because I've played Final Fantasy 7 and Crisis Core in front of them. I feel like it's okay to play those. Most
Yeah,
of the time they
those
don't
are
even,
fine. Yeah, I would say
yeah,
those two.
they don't even they usually don't even pay attention. Uh, except for Barrett yelling, damn it. It kind of reminds me. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Goonies. This is such a old person quote. Like Goonies, when I saw it in the theaters, I saw it in the theaters, just so everyone knows I'm old as shit. Uh, I saw it in the theater, and the scene where like the cops are chasing the bad guys, and Chuck is in the arcade. He pushes the pizza against, and then he gets the milkshake. It goes in his face. He's like, "Shit!" Like that was like, I was like, "Did I hear that correctly?"
Yeah.
Now, granted, I already watched Beverly Hills Cop, but like in a movie with my parents and that being okay. Uh, so yeah,
Or it's like
I'm
watching
pretty
the first Ninja Turtles movie. Like, how many times does Raphael say damn?
yeah, yeah.
Too many times.
Or and I brought this point up before. Funny marketing tip: the first Transformer movie when it came out, they specifically said "damn" and "shit" and one other one to get that PG rating. So then the parents would have to come with their kids. So that's just more ticket sales, which is crazy
Yeah.
because then kids went and were traumatized. So way to go, Hasbro. Way to go. I mean,
My
what about
name
you?
is
Like,
Optimus Prime.
I know we've talked about it in private talks, but like what are you planning to like? Are you planning to do some new games, some backlog?
Um, so everyone always just knows what I do. I'm pretty open. I don't know if I'm necessarily open on where I'm going, but like, I go and visit my family for a month. So I work, for what I do, I work remotely. So I have the ability to just go and visit family for the month of December. Um, so I'll be doing that. I plan on playing Final Fantasy Rebirth again from start, with like new game plus ish stuff, just because um I didn't rush through it, but I felt rushed when I was playing it.
Mhm.
And so there's a lot of things in that game that I really do enjoy, like the card game stuff. And so like, I really like to just not necessarily platinum it, but there's certain things I want to see again. There's certain things that I want to experience again, because I did. I don't remember if it was before or afterwards. But I caught up to it on my Switch with the original Final Fantasy VII, and kind of got to the ending of Rebirth, so the end of disc 1. And so I kind of just, with that more recent in my memory too, I kind of want to go back and just play it, see how things are a little bit different, see just play the game, enjoy the combat, because I really do like the combat in that game in particular. It's really, really well done. That's one. I have just other stuff on my backlog that sits around. I'm probably going to beat or try to beat Infinite Wealth, the Ryoga Gotoku Like a Dragon, just because the pirate one comes out in February, so I need to beat this one before that. I don't know if I'll necessarily get to it in time, because I've never bought a Yakuza game on release date, because I've just always been further behind. I'm closer than I have ever been before, I'll say that, because I have finished Man Who Erased His Name. I finished 1 through 7 now. Like I've done everything except the judgments, and then Ishin, and then this one, Infinite Wealth. So the one that actually matters, I would say, is Infinite Wealth. And so, yeah, that's what I plan on doing. I might play some Persona 3 Reload, because I didn't get super far into that game. I really, really did enjoy it. But something happened. I just didn't get far. Like, I don't even think I got Aegis. Like, I didn't get like the main robot waifu, like, and she's early-ish in the game. So like, I barely did anything. So yeah, I've got a few things like that. I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, I mean, I have some like VNs and stuff. Like I have the Famicom Detectives. I have Witch on the Holy Night. I have Fate Stay Night. I don't know if I'm gonna read any of those necessarily, but I did keep Witch on the Holy Night on my Switch on purpose, because when I travel, we travel by car, and so it is like a 10-hour drive or something like that.
Woo.
And so yeah, and so with that, I can at least I can play something, I can read something on the way there. So that's the perfect time, because like playing something is a little harder, I don't know, just in a car in general, I feel, just because of bumpy rides can be, and all that kind of stuff. Whereas like if you're reading something, it's a little easier, unless you're motion sick regardless. But like reading, all I'm doing is just hitting next, hitting A. So like it's just a lot easier. But yeah, I don't know. Like I have all these other games. I have a stack of like Tales of games that I've gotten recently. I might boot one of those. I have Sandland. I don't know if I'm ever gonna play that. I don't know. I just have random stuff, and then yeah, like I have stuff planned to get when I'm over there, or like certain things I know I'm getting as presents. So like Metaphor, for example, like I'm not gonna touch that until past Christmas. There was Dragon Quest, I think it was another one, the new Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D. I might get Sonic Cross Shadow Generations. There's a lot there. I just don't know what I'm actually going to do. The plan is I'm probably going to play Rebirth. Like that is the actual plan, because I really do want to play that game. I've only played it on like in my setups and stuff, so I might play it in like my family's like theater room. I might play it in the upstairs, because Final Fantasy I will say, remake and rebirth, um, and Crisis Core to a degree too. Um, they're very very cinematic in the sense of like my mom was actually really invested in remake when I was playing it. I think I might have mentioned that.
Yeah.
And so like she didn't understand what was necessarily happening, but she understood like, oh, these characters, these emotions. She was mad at Cloud for being a jerk to Tifa, and it's like, yeah, you tell him, because like, yeah, he is a jerk, especially in the beginning when he's so makoed or whatever. But yeah, that's probably the main thing. I just have so many things that are circling around, but then yeah, I'll stop there for now. But yeah, those are the things I plan on playing. So
I'm just a it's so funny you said that. So my wife has only played the Hogwarts game for Switch. Um and I bought it for her a while ago. I think in the summer is when I bought it. Um but she's wanting more like the detective game. So when I actually bought the new Famicom detective game on
yeah,
Switch. And then
MDO.
I got a couple more that are like those where they're this. So she's probably going to play one of those as well. It's kind of nice when she finds a game. Although what happens is she's like, "Okay, so I don't understand what I'm doing. What am I supposed to do here? Uh, I've not played the game, so I don't know." That's usually what happens in our conversations. But she's been using I got besides my OLED, I also have an Animal Crossing Switch. That's how she started was Animal Crossing, and then she
Mhm.
went to Hogwarts, and then she wants to try others. But yeah, I think the holidays is the perfect time because for us, we've got all these things planned. Um, I've got family stuff on Thanksgiving and then another family thing on Saturday of the same week. Christmas, we have one during the month. We have one, and then we have Christmas Day at our house with my family. But gosh, man, there are times when family's here, and I'm like, all right, I just am spent with
Yeah,
all of you, and
yeah.
so
Everybody get out of here. I want to lie
yeah.
down and play this video game.
So I usually go to my Switch first
Yeah.
because that way, if Bluey's on, yeah, um, so I which you funny you said the new Sonic game. So I almost bought that for my one son. And Alex knows my kids pretty well and which son I'm talking about. It's
Yep.
a big Sonic person. But I'm like, I'm gonna wait because I feel like that game's gonna go on sale.
100%.
Be- I feel like Frontier came out about the same time, and then by this time, they before Black Friday-ish, it went on a big sale. Is it 60 or is it only 50 right now?
It might be even cheaper than that, honestly. It might be 50, I think, but it could be 40. I'm really not sure. But like with Sonic 3 coming out here in theaters in December with the Keanu Reeves DLC as well, that's coming out in December. Um, that game might see a discount. Or it might see a price staying because they want you to
Yeah.
buy it. Um,
Yeah, I think it's crazy because like usually this is the time where I see a lot of us play games. So I'm in a family with I think everybody plays games in my family except for my daughter who's 4. But even my wife, she'll play Animal Crossing or she'll play Hogwarts. Uh, so I think it's crazy that your mom is sitting there watching. My mom used to watch me play Final Fantasy X. And
yeah.
she used to ask questions all the time of like, so what's going on here? Who is this guy? Why was he over here? And then he gets sucked into like a whirlpool and now he's here. I would explain it to her and she would watch and she would love the stories. I think that's the best thing about Final Fantasy games is they have some of the best stories.
Yeah.
Uh, so I thought to throw that tidbit about I'm gonna get my wife to play more video games. I
um
think if we
Warner
could do that,
Brothers did announce recently, again, we already dated ourselves anyway, but like they just announced, I think today or yesterday, that like their next thing that they're planning on doing is a development of like a sequel for
yeah,
Hogwarts. So there will
yeah.
be more eventually.
I I got to one part and I was like, this is dumb. I took a quest in the Forbidden Forest at
Hmm.
night, and you're just being attacked by spiders everywhere. And like, if you don't make enough potions, you're done because you can't really hit everybody because you have to have a cooldown period when you do stuff.
Hmm.
It's just rough. It's really, really rough. And so I stopped playing. Um, I just stopped playing altogether, and then I restarted it in the summer, and then I lost interest. I was playing on PS5,
Yeah.
so but I lost interest. I was like, I'm just don't find
Yeah.
this interesting
I
anymore.
never tried it. I think it was a PlayStation Plus game, right? Like for like the normal tier.
I I
The
don't remember.
Quidditch was, I know. Like the
I
new
don't think this
Quidditch
one
game.
has been.
Okay, I'll have to check
This one
because
has.
for some reason I thought it was. Maybe not.
I know there was
Yeah,
a demo that came specifically for PlayStation
maybe
Plus.
that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know. So now I'm just thinking because we're just thinking out loud. This is a podcast about nothing as always. But I almost suggested Ace Attorney for your wife, but I think that'd be a little too hard. Because even
Y-
Ace Attorney is a little too hard for me at times.
Yeah, I think where she runs into for Hogwarts is yes, it's got role playing elements, but you are in free mode of like doing your spells and then getting out of the way, kind of like Dark Souls ish of like couple hits, bam,
Mhm.
move out of the way. But I did buy a couple games. I think I've shown you a couple of the games I bought that were
Yeah,
like more of like a graphic novel and you make decisions. The detective one, because she really is into like the murder mystery and stuff like that. I said, this is perfect. My fear is she's gonna be like, I want more of these. I'm like, well, we could buy some digital ones, but that's
yeah,
pretty much it.
that's all
So
there
maybe those.
is. Yeah. But like, yeah, the like Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, like I think those are really good games, and there's that trilogy that's always cheap, so it might be a good thing to just try to get into.
Yeah,
It's digital or physical, I believe, but like, um, those games are a little dated in the sense of like it is an old adventure game where you are clicking, and then in the trials it can get a little confusing and difficult, like when you're trying to present evidence and stuff. So I think that's might be a place where it might trip her up, but like if she enjoys goofy humor as well as like serious like trials and murder mysteries and gathering clues, like she might enjoy that. So
yeah,
it's kind of like
yeah. I mean,
Psych, I would say.
I think she's definitely she plays her little games on her phone all the time, like legitimately. But I said these are great because you can have broader things, and then usually a lot of her games have time limits. So like after she can't play for this many times or she has to pay. I said that's the best thing about playing on your Switch is because all these games I'm showing you, once you buy the game, that's what you play.
Yeah.
Um, so it'd be interesting to see, what I can get her to play. Usually that's her time because she works in education to breathe and just do things. She reads a lot during those times, but sometimes she's like, I don't want to read anymore. I just want to do this, So
Yeah.
um, it could be very interesting.
I want to propose a question to you because the audience now knows that you beat Persona 4. What is your next Persona that you're going to try? And is that going to be a thing that you'll start over this holiday break?
Yeah, so I debated about 3 Reload, and I'm like, do I do that one or do I because I own Persona 4 or Persona 5 Royal
Yeah, for
for the
Switch.
Switch.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, I really want to play that one because that's one I've started a couple times and I couldn't get down like how to do things. I'm like, I just am not figuring out. But now that I know how those style of games are, that's probably one I'll play because I can at least throw it on my Switch and then just handheld mode, you
Mm-hmm.
know? And now that I know how the dungeons work and how the mechanics work and how the persona work, I think it makes it easier for me to just jump in and be like, okay, so new story, new characters, let's build up relationships with everybody, that sort of thing. Um, and I know it's a 40, 50 plus hour game. I think I spent like 55 hours on mine. 50 hours maybe. I can't remember.
5 Royals way longer. It's like
Yeah.
a 90-hour game probably.
Yeah. And so I know that that is the thing there. But it's good. Like It's at this time of us recording, I did just get the Halloween slash Ash versus Evil Dead, the retro one, and I'm thoroughly enjoying that right now. But I'm almost finished the Halloween part.
Hmm.
Uh, so I do like the lengthy games and that have more girth to them sometimes. I think it's the best thing about my Switch collection though is I could switch to different things, but Persona 5 would probably be the one I play next. I think moving forward.
Cool.
But I do want to play Metaphor as well.
Yeah.
But I want to wait. I really don't want to start something giant like these altogether. Um,
Yeah. You'll
y-
get burnt out.
yeah, because I'm already trying to finish Crisis Core, which I know is not a huge game, and then I want to finish Seven.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm like really early. Like I'm just right past the factory,
Mm.
so
Yeah, that is
I
really
got a
early.
long way to go. Yeah, so I just want to make sure that I don't overload myself.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing I feel like with us is like you get involved in these stories. Like we talked about Dragon Quest, right? I wasn't planning on buying it, but now I'm like, I don't know, man. Now that I kind of want to buy it now.
Yeah.
But that's a huge game.
Yeah.
It's very long. So I don't know. I like my quick games too, but that's what Halo's for. I s- I'm still playing Halo.
Hmm. You just reminded me, I own Dragon Quest 11S on my Switch.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That one's great, by the way.
I never played it all the way. I played like 3 hours, 2 hours maybe on Xbox because it was on Game Pass and then it disappeared from Game Pass. And so I never touched it again.
I downloaded it. I bought a copy and downloaded it off of PlayStation.
Hmm.
But here's the thing: is the original one that I had was not definitive. So
Mm.
that one I have, I re-downloaded my file and I'm like, there's no file. I'm like, wait, what? Because I had like 10 hours into the one. Difference was because the definitive collection is different from the original. So then after that, I just like, I don't feel like going back. So funny story, my son had that for Switch and sold it. And he's like, I regret it because now you don't see it anywhere. I mean, you really don't see it anywhere.
Hmm.
So, but this is when he was collecting Switch games. He probably has like 15 games total. That's where I have like 65.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I counted them the other day because my insurance wanted like in case there's a fire or something to like add everything up. Yeah, I had no idea I had that many. Now, obviously, just for the record, to everyone listening, the ones that are not mine are Gigantosaurus. That's not mine. Uh, the Grinch is not mine. Um, those are not mine. Those are my kids. I have two copies of Mario Kart 8 because with two boys that have Switches, you cannot have one copy of something.
You're the reason why that's always on the top 10 charts or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, even like last year for Christmas, we got them Wonder last
Yeah.
year. Do you know how many times they played Wonder?
Probably twice.
Yep.
Because
But
Wonder, I enjoyed it a lot when I played it. It's so forgettable, unfortunately.
yeah, like, but you know how many times that they play either the Mario that came with the launch of the Switch? Do you know how many times they play
Oh,
that
Odyssey all
all
the
the time?
time. Yeah.
They play it all, or Mario Maker too. They play that all the time. And then another one is the 3D with Bowser's Fury
Yeah.
all the time. But Wonder, just don't really
Maybe it's
care.
because there's no more Charles Martinet and they just know. They just know something's up, you know?
That's probably what it is. I played Wonder when you were playing Wonder in stream, and I got really far, and then I just got bored.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I got in like the sand world and I got really, really bored there. And I really liked all the gimmicks. I really liked all the things about it. But at a certain point, I was like, wait, why am I playing this? And I
Yeah.
stopped.
But can we talk about my one accomplishment that I had this year? I
Yeah.
beat Mario 2 this year.
Which one? All
Uh,
stars or regular?
I played it on All Stars,
Okay.
but
Congratulations.
I still finished Super Mario Brothers 2. I was telling this in a previous podcast. That was the one Mario game I never finished. Um,
Gotta take that
because right
rocket.
before Yeah. So funny story. Before you fight Wart, that one stage, I could not figure it out. And then I'm gonna be honest, I looked it up. I'm like, holy crap, I was completely wrong on all of this.
Mm-hmm.
You go the opposite direction. But
Mm-hmm.
when I played this game, I used no warps. May have rewinded it a couple times, but not very much. But I played Mario 2 all the way through all the levels. And if anyone here has played Mario 2, some of those levels are just awful.
Now,
Oh,
when are you gonna beat the lost levels? The real Mario 2?
oh never. Never. That game, I have played it and I've gotten pretty far,
Yeah.
but it's so hard.
There's so many. I hate it even in regular Mario, where there's just like, here's a hammer, bro, and you have to wait and just run underneath them. I hate those. I can never do
Yep.
those.
Um, and one of our streams, we played Mario 3. And I think Alex was like, God, you do know this game. It's creepy how well you know this. But like, you just get used to it because of that. But like, that game, there's a reason why it didn't come out of here until a long time ago.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just so hard. Um, I still have a love for Mario 1, but God, Mario 3 is so good. And I will probably play Mario 3 over the holidays. I'll be just throw that out there. Why? I don't know. It's a nostalgia game from it didn't even come out during the holidays.
No,
It was like the summer, wasn't it?
might have
See
been.
now
I
it's
don't know. Was the Wizard the holidays? Is that what you're thinking?
maybe. Um,
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad.
well, no, I take that back. So October 23rd, God, 1988.
1989.
Now we got to figure out when the Wizard came out.
That's what I'm looking. December 15th, 1989 for the Wizard. So
I went to the theater and saw the Wizard, and I was like, now, granted, the Warp Whistle stuff we had already seen from people talked about Warp Whistle all the time.
mhm.
Um, the kids that rode the bus that got Nintendo Power were like, "Oh, check it out! There's a Warp Whistle." So, but so let me get this straight. So, when did the Wizard come out?
Came out in 1989 at the end, like December, but Mario 3 came out in February of 1990 for America
Okay,
because it came out
so
in 89 in Japan in October.
that's what I thought. Okay, because I was like, that's how I knew about Super Mario Brothers 3. You knew about the Warp Whistle was because of the Wizard.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think the Wizard's not a good movie, but it is a great
Commercial.
yeah, it's a great commercial. Um, and you got to pictures. So Nintendo's on the high right now. You go to a movie, you watch the movie. There's no internet, and then all of a sudden they go, "We have something new for you guys to play at this tournament, Super Mario Brothers 3," and everybody is like freaking out. Okay, everyone's like, "What's happening right now? We have a
Mm-hmm.
brand new movie that no one's talked about," and he gets the Warp Whistle. There you go.
Yeah.
And I will probably when I play this, I will probably play the Super Nintendo version. I
Yeah.
just like it.
It's
So
nicer.
so one thing we're gonna miss that we won't be able to talk about is the video game awards. Can we throw that in there?
So yes, but before you say that, the way that you did that, I was like, oh god, do we have a new sponsor?
No, no sponsors right now.
You know what I really miss? This random sponsor. Here you get at gaming. We love this random sponsor. Yeah, no, I the way you segued, I thought we had a new sponsor
Oh
that's
no.
magical, and we do not.
We did get asked.
That's true.
We did get asked, and
No,
I don't
thank you.
think we didn't reply, but we would love sponsors in general. Just like
Things are more on brand.
yeah, or what's the words I'm looking for? We are very thankful for that sponsor that we were joking about because that was our first sponsor.
Yeah, we learned how
ever.
sponsors work, or
Yeah,
how not
and
to
I
work,
think
I guess.
asking to get paid, you know. Um,
Every single month asking to get paid. Hey, you forgot to pay us. Oh yeah, sorry.
it's I always loved the reply because we always had to. What people don't know is we had to send that out. We used to record a week early because we had to send it out for them to approve it, and it had to be organic in the podcast. And one thing me and Alex always laughed at is they always be like, "Oh, it sounds great." I'm like, "Are you really listening to it?" Because there's a couple of times that I was just tired and I
We're just
fumbled.
phoning it in. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, just trying to keep it
Yeah.
by the end of our contract with this one, we were like, "Oh, it's great. I love it. It's the best thing ever. Please
Yeah.
buy it."
Yeah.
Um, and I up until a couple weeks ago, I still had quite a bit of product left until I threw it away.
Same.
Yeah, I had like I had 6 boxes in my
Same.
fridge. Yeah. So we would love to, you know what I would love to get? I would love to get a new company that's coming out with like a seltzer water that's like an energy drink as well. That's not going to give me like heart palpitations.
Yeah, give
That'd be
me
great.
yeah, give me something like that tastes like Gatorade, except like it's better for you than Gatorade. Because
Yes.
I can just down Gatorades all the time.
Maybe Gatorade. I mean, we're not athletic, but we are.
It's got electrolytes though. It's got what plants
It
crave.
does. I mean, that's what. God, look at you. I think it's hilarious. I know what movie you're quoting.
I want to say other quotes, but I don't think it's appropriate for this podcast.
Anytime you have a
Not
movie where
sure.
any movie that you have where Terry Crews is the president.
I'm talking about Idiocracy also, FYI, for
Oh my
people.
God.
But man, we should do a episode about that, and we can mark that episode as mature or something. Because like, oh baby, that is a episode you have to describe a
Oh
certain
my
way.
gosh. You
I
know,
love that
I love
movie.
it when he's like, "Hey, I'm supposed to be going with those guys over there. I'm going out of jail." You are? You're stupid. Get in that line over there.
Or like when he's taking his test, his IQ test, like you see this guy just like trying to shove a square into a circle hole, and he's like really trying really hard, and he like looks at God, whatever his name is, and he's just like covering his answers essentially.
It's Luke Wilson.
Yeah, Luke Wilson, that's who it is. Yeah.
Do you know who I didn't like in it though? Dax Shepard. I can't stand him. I don't think he's a good actor. Do you know what would have been better in that role? Oh my God. I think if they got a little bit of Michael Scott in there, I think it'd have been better than Dax Shepard.
Yeah,
I just watched Despicable Me 4, so give me a break.
but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like I feel like Steve Carell is, well, let's see when this come out. 2006. The Office just started.
Yeah.
So like I don't know. Yeah, I forgot Maya Rudolph was the main lead too. Yeah,
Yeah.
did that put her on the map? Because like, or probably not, because this didn't put anyone on the map.
No.
But
She was
like,
already doing SNL.
oh, was she at the time? Okay, because like, I feel like this is the first time I saw her personally.
I I think this is the first time I've really saw her, but then I think she was on SNL. Okay, so going into the next year, we're gonna do a breakdown of that movie. We're gonna talk about that movie for our podcast. One podcast next year sometime. We gotta talk about
Will
this
it
movie.
be YouTube exclusive? Probably, because it's probably too raunchy for podcast services.
Probably.
Probably. We don't want to get demonetized. We don't get money. We don't want to get flagged as explicit or whatever. Yeah. Okay. So really quick, I'm looking up SNL, or looking up Maya Rudolph. Yeah, she was already on SNL from 2000 to 2007, and so she was in 51st Dates in 2004, and then she was in Idiocracy in 2006, and then she started um, being in other things like Grown Ups, Bridesmaids, and more things. So, but yeah,
Oh,
I didn't really watch SNL like as or that era of SNL, I should say. I watched early SNL, and then I watched when Keenan was there. I had not really
Yeah.
watched a much of in between, and so I think that's why I only really recognized her initially from Idiocracy. So that makes sense for me.
I only watch SNL when the host is someone I like. That's usually what it is. If I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta see it because of this, you know?
Yeah.
Or the band is there. Although the times I'm like, I don't even know who this person is that's singing.
Yeah.
And they'll never have Kanye West back again, which is okay. But I will watch it if I like somebody there, you
Mhm.
know. And recently they've had a whole bunch of people come back for like skits and stuff, which has been great. So yeah, I wonder I where this is being recorded early. I wonder who's gonna do the last episode the before next year.
Yeah.
I would get somebody really, really cool. So
Yeah,
but
they
yeah,
do. Yeah, they do. Mike Judge, Idiocracy. Go watch it. We'll talk about it next year.
we will. But we should bring up the Game Awards. At this point, they've already happened.
Yeah.
But I was telling this to Alex. So my son was very upset last year because Spider-Man won none of the awards. And I was trying to explain to him, I'm like, dude, Spider-Man is a great game. I haven't played it personally, the second one, but from watching them play, it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just was up some tough competition in Boulder's Gate, and he's like, Boulder Gate's stupid. It's a top-down thing where you can have sex with a bear. So that's not the whole premise of the game.
Why does that sound stupid? People, that's probably
I mean,
it's probably something people want. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Not there's anything wrong with that.
no. If you want to have sex with a bear and not go to prison,
Go
that's
for
probably
it.
the best way of doing it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm looking over it now. The ones that I was only excited about was Sea of Stars winning. That was the one I was super excited about.
Mm-hmm.
But looking through the list of who won last year, oh, I thought Zelda was great to win. Tears of the Kingdom won Best Action, even though people on the podcast are going to be angry with me. I have never played Breath of the Wild or the new one.
I didn't finish the new one because I got bored with it. Also,
Last Zelda
at the
game.
final boss.
Is this sad? The last Zelda game that I actually finished from start to finish was the Super Nintendo one.
You didn't even play Majora's Mask, or? All right. Then yeah.
I had an N64.
You have a Wii U now. Go play Wind Waker.
That's the thing is like I did play Wind Waker a long time ago. So one of my really good friends, Michael, who if you're not listening to this podcast, Michael, we are no longer friends. But when we used to talk video games all the time, and he's like, "Oh my god, I just played Wind Waker for the Wii. You got to play it." And I tried it, and I was like, "I don't really like it." But I played it with all the weird Wii remote movements instead of just playing like a normal game. I keep thinking they're going to release that as like a game on the Switch, like a remake. I don't know why they've never done that one.
Wait. You're getting confused with something else. Wind Waker is the Toon one that was on GameCube, and then it got a remaster on Wii U. The next one, Twilight Princess, was on GameCube and Wii, and that also got a remaster on Wii U. And Skyward Sword showed up on Switch.
Gotcha. Okay, so I was confused. Excuse me. So Wind Waker, I had several hours into. When I first had my first Wii U, because my first Wii U that I bought when it came out was that Zelda one.
Oh, with like the little gold on the trim.
Yeah, I have a normal black 32 now. The problem is that game is so expensive. It's like $100. It's between like $80 to $100.
I have it.
You should just gift it to me as a present.
I don't think so.
We're past the age of letting people borrow games. My youth was letting people borrow games and DVDs and like forgetting who I gave them to.
I still do that, unfortunately.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that Zelda, I would probably do that one. I didn't like Twilight Princess at all because I didn't like the controls.
I heard the GameCube version's a lot better and the Wii U version's a lot better too.
I will say my son did my anything Zelda my son loves. So he has all the Zelda games, including Skyward Sword for Switch, the new ones.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for Christmas, I actually bought him Skyward Sword with the music CD that came with it. It's clean, super clean.
Does it come with the remote as well?
No, unfortunately, that one I couldn't get, or the box was ripped up pretty bad. If I was gonna get it, I wanted to get
The
at
whole
least one
shebang.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this one does have the CD in there, so
It's nice. Yeah, I have the gold Wii remote because that's how I bought mine.
that thing's stupid expensive now.
There's also a gold nunchuck that was exclusive to Japan.
That's crazy. I do want to play a Zelda game, like one of the newer ones. I don't know, man.
Um,
I feel like Breath of the Wild would be the way to go, but I could be wrong.
it's such a different game that it's like, sure, do it if you want. I don't want anyone to hate me or anything, but like, it's such a different game that it's not Zelda to a degree. So if you're really like wanting to play a Zelda game, I would say play Ocarina of Time, play Majora's Mask on the N64 Switch Online thing. I would say play those two.
Yeah, I thought about it. I didn't like the Majora's Mask because there's like a time limit.
It's so good though. It's the best. That's the point.
Uh, I keep hearing people talk about how that's the best Zelda game of all time.
Yeah.
Although I will say that Tears of the Kingdom sold well enough to almost beat out. Did they beat out Call of Duty? I thought they did in like first week sales. Call of Duty used to be crazy.
I really don't know because Nintendo numbers are weird. Like they don't take account for
Yeah.
digital sometimes, and yeah, it's always physical, I believe.
Yeah. So I'm looking through I'm actually looking at the 2023 list here. There's a lot of good ones that won. I feel like Genshin Impact wins every single year for some reason. I don't know why.
That or whatever the new one is might win. Honkai Star Rail might win next year. Or
So
this year.
as we're talking about this, it's already happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The reason I really watch it, I don't really watch it to see who wins. It's fun, it's goofy, it's campy, but I go to see like what trailers they put there. That's what I go.
I look for Joseph Ferris to see if he's gonna yell at the Oscars again. You know.
I mean,
what game does he have going right now? Because what was his last game? Was that It Takes Two?
Yep.
Yeah, that guy's crazy in a good way.
Nothing was better than the guy from God of War that did like the really long speech, and then he came back the next year and was like, "Guys thought I was gonna do a long speech," and he made the comment about that this was a real quick speech this year, and it still was longer than the Call of Duty campaign.
Oh yeah, last year was the please wrap it up thing, and people
Yeah,
got
and it's
mad.
all that's because of him.
Yeah,
that's his fault because he spent 20 minutes talking about thanking everybody.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved that because I was like, when I was watching that, and I was like, oh my god, he's still going. And you could see like when they would move the cameras, people on the other sides are trying to get his attention and be like, wrap it up, wrap it up. We're on the time limit.
Yeah.
What good times. The video game awards you cannot take seriously whatsoever, but every year they still have really, really great trailers of stuff that premiere there.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's better than the summer thing that they did this year.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the one thing that Jeff Keighley just nails.
Maybe we'll get a return of the Schick Hydro Man or whatever. Remember that? Where it's just the Schick Hydro razor or whatever. It's just like a guy in a razor costume. It was great.
Dude, they're so campy.
Yeah.
But like last year we had Jordan Peele come up there.
In the Muppets again.
Yeah. Although I want to get different Muppets. Yeah, I feel like he just gets the same ones.
Well, because he really likes Bunsen and what do you call him? Is it Bunsen and Honeydew? I don't know.
Yeah, but doesn't he always get like what's the little guy's name?
Oh, Animal. He also gets Animal. I think Animal was
Yeah,
the last
but
time.
where's Gonzo? Where's Fozzie? Where's Kermit? I don't have to have Kermit.
I don't want Kermit. I don't want new Kermit. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Did you ever see the joke they ever did on Family Guy? Where they're like, yeah, it's just like new Kermit, or they do like the transition
No.
and they do new Kermit, and it's like he literally comes in, he goes, "Hey everybody," and he has this really weird, like, it's like Jerome's voice that's on there,
Mm,
and it's really deep and very ethnic.
yeah.
Like that's the joke they do with it. Yeah,
I miss old Kermit. I've heard stories about old Kermit versus new Kermit versus old Kermit. I'm used to a certain Kermit because he's been there longest for me, and he's gone now. And now this new Kermit doesn't even sound like Kermit, and it makes me upset. So I can't watch it.
it's weird why they can't get someone to do it, because you realize the guy that does like Mickey Mouse now, it's like not even the same people, but it sounds pretty close.
It's two people, if I
Yeah.
recall. Like there's one who does the creepy show, like the one that's really stylized with like the gross goofy, like the one with the meme where it's like, what happened? That's a different guy. And then there's the other guy who does now like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. He does Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, that guy is really good.
He also does Daffy Duck.
That guy does?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if it's the same guy. I think I saw him somewhere and they're asking how many voices he does. And he did Mickey, he did Daffy, he did Bugs, he did somebody else. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but I thought it was the same. All I know is they kept Mickey sounding like Mickey, at least pretty close. New Kermit is, yeah. I think I saw him on Sesame Street or something along those lines.
Yeah. I mean, I saw Elmo on Sesame Street talking to Andrew Garfield about like death, and that was a trip. I don't know if you watched that.
Was that before Elmo got fired, or?
What do you mean he got fired?
So the guy that originally did Elmo got fired. The guy that'd been like Elmo from like the
recently,
start, like a couple years ago.
Oh, okay. No. This is like a few months, like a month ago, not even.
Okay, yeah. No, that guy got fired for some naughtiness. He had a problem keeping his personal life separate.
Okay.
It was not good.
Yeah, no. I was talking about it was like a thing. It was like Andrew Garfield and Elmo were talking, and it was basically like one of those things where it's like it's okay to like miss your dead mom or something like that. It was like kind of like talking about grief, about how like it's sad, but being sad is a good feeling because it makes you realize how important they were and like this and that. And so it was just really not off-putting, but it was just weird to see like, man, this is really touching. I don't want to watch this right now. You know what I mean?
Well, they're still doing new episodes of Sesame Street.
Yeah, because that's all on HBO, right?
Yeah. And the one lady that played Maria just retired, and she's old, and she's been on the show since the 70s. It's very sad. They did like an episode with her, because that show's been going for like ever.
Oh, geez, I looked up Elmo now. Oof. That was 2012. Yeah, that's been a while.
Elmo was not being very nice. Let's just say that.
Yeah. So
are you reading?
New Elmo is 2013 to now. So it's been a bit.
I bet he's banking though, because that other Elmo was getting bank until he decided to go off script and do some bad things.
That he did.
So
that he did.
Man, this podcast has got way off the rails.
It also got way longer than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I don't know really what else we want to talk about here. All right, give me your best Kermit the Frog impression. Go.
I don't have one. I don't.
Just do it. Just, you know how Kermit sounds. Do it.
Oh, I'm Kermit.
Kermit the Frog here.
That's better than what mine was.
But here's the thing, though. You're better than the other Kermit, the new one.
Do what I really, really love, and I'm gonna be honest here. I love Oscar the Grouch. I always pictured what would happen if Oscar started swearing at the kids.
He probably has.
He probably was like, do you remember? So the guy who played Hopper was on SNL, and they were doing a live action Oscar the Grouch, and
Yep.
he played oh my god, it was the best.
Mm-hmm.
It was the best because they showed who was it? They showed Snuffleupagus as a pimp.
Yes.
He was Keenan Thomas was a pimp, and I love it when he was like yelling at one of the garbage people. He's like, "Man, why are you so grouchy?" It was great. I'm waiting for that to come out. That'd be great. I think it's when the Joker movie came out.
I
They're
think
making fun of it.
I think so. I think that's what it was. Because yeah, it wasn't too long ago. Now I'm just thinking about Kermit the Frog. Now I kind of want to watch not Sesame Street. I'm sure it's Sesame Street, I guess, but I want to watch the Muppets. You know?
Do you prefer the older Muppet movies, like the originals, the ones that Jim Henson did?
Yes and no. I think the other two that happened, well, I guess spoilers for our other thing. But I like the first one a lot. I think the second one's fine. The Muppets Take Manhattan. And then we have stuff like Christmas Carol, Treasure Island, Muppets in Space, and then the other two, right? Jason Segel. And I thought the Jason Segel one was really good at the time. But now as an older adult, I guess I should say, I'm a little upset that it focused so much on not the Muppets. It focused on Jason Segel and his brother.
I've never watched those because I just really don't. I don't know why I've never watched them. I just really didn't. After watching the trailer, I was like, it just seems like it's a bunch of like famous people that got together and threw some Muppets in there. That's what it looked like to me. So
kind of. I mean, like there's an A plot and the B plot, but like the A plot is basically I'm gonna look it up. Muppet movie 2011. What's his name? Walter. Basically, Walter is the brother of Jason Segel from How I Met Your Mother. And they've always been like really like best friends, and they do everything together. His brother Jason Segel is like wanting to marry this girl, or maybe they are married, I don't remember. But basically Walter's always been different because he's a Muppet, and then he is obsessed with the Muppets, and he finds Kermit and goes and is like, hey, we need to get the band back together, essentially. So it's one of those types of film where like they're gonna lose the Muppet theater or something. It's gonna get sold, so they have to save it, so they have to put on a show and do that kind of stuff. So like it's a really good movie. I feel like a lot of it focused too much on the new characters at times, and so I think that's why now I don't like it as much. Whereas the second movie, like they focus so much on that Walter kid. Like I'm pretty sure Walter is now just a side background character in the second movie there. And then there hasn't really been one since, except like Disney Plus had the Muppets Haunted Mansion, and that was awful. That was really bad. And there might have been like another one too, but no, I like Muppets Most Wanted. I thought that one was really funny because that's the one with like the Kermit who is like a Russian spy or something, but he looks a little bit different because he has like a mole or something on.
Yes. But here's what's funny. So I watched the trailer for that. I'm like, this kind of seems familiar, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's this little movie called Ernest Goes to Jail.
Yep.
And the premise of that is there's a guy that looks close enough to being like Ernest. So he starts dressing like Ernest to get the job at the bank where Ernest works at to rob it. Well, he switches places with Ernest, and Ernest gets put in prison as where this guy's running free. He's like, no, that's not me. Same type of story, I feel. Y'all are ripping off Ernest movies. How dare you?
but they ripped it off good. Tina Fey's in it, and she's really good.
Yeah, and that's what I definitely think. Like, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to, maybe I'll have to watch some of these and be like, okay, these are, and nothing beats like, um, the very first, like the Muppet movie and like the Muppet Caper, and even like the Sesame Street one, Follow That Bird, which is great, which was just Muppets.
Yeah.
Um, just Sesame Street Muppets, which I'm almost sure in the Follow the Bird that either Fozzie shows up or Kermit or somebody does, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Disney World at that point still has like the Muppet Theater thing. That's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I haven't watched a Muppet movie. We tried watching the Haunted Mansion and my kids were not into it. They're like, this is not good.
It isn't good. Like it just isn't. Yeah, I would say. I would say the two new Muppet movies are pretty good. I think they're worth time for sure. It's just again that I don't enjoy that one as much as I used to.
Hey, we still have Muppet Carol, Christmas Carol, and like the Treasure Island.
It's true. Michael Caine. Yeah.
Not only do they get Michael Caine for Christmas Carol, but then they also got oh god, what's his name? Oh,
Tim Curry.
yes, they get Pennywise for that one.
Yeah.
I remember watching it. I'm like, he just looks like he's just having fun, not even like acting.
Tim Curry was always having fun, man. Like he was a great voice actor and did so many things. And I don't know if he's in anything anymore because I know he had a stroke like a couple years ago, and it really affected him. Because like they replaced him in Young Justice because he was the news reporter guy. Geez, I can't remember his name right now, but he was just in a lot of cartoons like during my childhood. Like he was that guy who was like, oh, you're an actor, but also you just like do cartoons for fun. Like he was Nigel Thornberry. Like that's where I most recognize him from. Like, yes, I know he's in Rocky Horror. I know he's Pennywise. I know he's like all this other stuff, but like I really knew him a lot from cartoons.
He was also in Scary Movie too.
Speaking of Scary Movie 6, right?
I don't know what they're gonna call it because we were talking about this before. So if you hadn't already heard, basically they announced that they were going back to the Scary Movie franchise. So 1 and 2 were done by um the Wayans family. Like, so the
Yeah.
two younger brothers did it, and then Keenan, the oldest, also, helped produce it. And but then like 3 and 4 were done by the studio, not done by the Wayans brothers at all. And so uh was it Marlon Wayans that posted something saying they were going back to Scary Movie on his Twitter or something? So they got the rights and they're doing another Scary Movie, which will be great because there's so many movies they can make fun of. Um, I'm excited to see what they do. It should be an interesting thing here. But yeah, he was in 2, and I think 2 is just as funny, if not funnier than 1.
Yeah, I see it here now. I've never seen Adam's Family Reunion. He's Gomez in that, which I think is more of a directed. Yeah, it's a directed DVD. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, they're. I think I watched the countdown of some of the worst Adams Family. There's that one, and then there's like another one. I think Daryl Hannah's in that one with him.
Huh.
It was, I don't remember watching it, but I remember it was not good. And then they did like, there was a show for a while maybe called The New Adams Family. I don't remember if it was a show or a movie or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess he's starting to do stuff again. 2024, he had a cameo in something, in some show. Um, voice roles for cartoons, voice roles for television. Over the Garden Wall was his last thing that he did.
I've never watched that, but people talk about how good it is.
I don't like it.
I guess they just did a stop shot animation I think for the anniversary or
Yeah,
something.
they did. It's because like the real show is like a very short like mini series. Like you're supposed to just watch it all at once. And it's
Yeah.
fine. I don't see what the big hubbub is about for it. But anyway, that's enough about Tim Curry's filmography. Yeah, this has been the Get at Gaming Plus podcast, where again we talk about nothing. Talk about whatever we want to talk about, whether that's cartoons, apparently Tim Curry, Adam's Family, video games, just yeah, whatever we want to talk about. If you stayed here this long, we appreciate you. But you can catch all the other episodes that you might have missed over the holidays, because hey, we were pre-recording and there were bi-weekly episodes and all that kind of stuff, so there's still stuff happening even when we were gone. So those are on youtube.com/GetAtGaming, or you can go to any sort of podcast service and get the podcast version. YouTube has a video version, and podcasts we're really trying to work on Spotify. So if you can follow us on Spotify, we appreciate it. There's a Q&A section automatically on Spotify if you want to type your Q's, and we'll give you A's. I don't know. Do anything there. I don't know the actual schedule when we're going to be back because just there are things up in the air. We're trying to prepare, we're trying to do things. There might be another live stream like how we did last time, but I'm really not sure. I like to get some special guests. I like to do a live game show, but I really don't know how possible that is. So yeah, do you have anything to say to the people, Ben?
Just to get at it.
Get at it.